Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie. If you enjoyed this video, please thumbs up and subscribe to the channel down below. Godzilla has been a cultural phenomenon in Japan since the first film in 1954. Since then, the beast has taken the world by storm, terrifying audiences across the globe. But what if he wasn't just on the big screen, but actually attacked in real life? Let's explore. Get ready, it's time to ask the question, what if Godzilla was real? There have been a number of Godzilla films since the original in 1954, and each version of the monster has its own quirks. For the sake of clarity, this video will focus on Shin Godzilla, the 2016 film, as it is one of the most realistic depictions of the attack. Godzilla is a giant aquatic creature, often attacking Japan. It's believed to have been created due to radioactive contamination, which gave it the ability to constantly adapt to its surroundings. It leaves a trail of residual radiation in its wake and is able to shoot atomic blasts from its mouth and tail. Godzilla is one tough cookie, so how could we deal with it? The first step would have to be to evacuate all civilians from the area. Depending on the population density in the area of the attack, this could take some time, but it would be of the utmost importance. Between Godzilla's attacks, atomic breath, and residual radiation left after it, not to mention the attempts to stop the beast, those in the area would be in a great deal of danger. Once the area was evacuated, efforts to deal with the beast could begin in earnest. Unfortunately, it seems that most weapons don't work against Godzilla. As we saw in the 2016 film, even powerful missiles were unable to pierce its thick hide. This would lead one to look to nuclear weapons, but this raises another concern. How would you stop this huge and tanky beast while minimizing collateral damage? One possible option is capturing Godzilla. This would be very useful since it would allow us to study the beast and learn from it, and would likely be less damaging to the city and its people. Unfortunately, this would be difficult to achieve, particularly with its atomic breath able to blast it out of most containment areas. Furthermore, if it had the same adaptive abilities as it did in Shin Godzilla, the longer it was alive, the more dangerous it would become. This likely rules out the option of capturing it alive, since there's a chance that it would simply adapt to whatever was holding it captured. This means that killing it would likely be the only option. Sadly, that's easier said than done. Shin Godzilla offered two potential solutions to the Godzilla problem. The first and less desirable option is the aforementioned use of thermonuclear weapons. This would potentially be enough to take the creature out, but would result in a huge amount of collateral damage. Not only that, but attacking a radioactive creature with nuclear weapons could result in unexpected consequences. The likely superior plan, which ended up being very effective in the film, is the use of Bloodcoagulant to freeze the monster from the inside. This was done by baiting it into using its atomic breath, then quickly injecting it with coagulant while it was recharging. This would be a difficult plan and would require a great deal of coordination, but it could be very effective, especially if Godzilla was killed for good, thus preventing further adaptation. The only problem is, this coordination could be difficult to achieve. One aspect of defending against Godzilla that is often overlooked is the bureaucratic side of things. While one might assume that a giant monster attacking a city would be enough to bring people together, that isn't necessarily the case. As we've seen in various relief efforts in recent years, sometimes the resources are there to help, but the hands of the government are tied due to policy restrictions. As it happens, Shin Godzilla did an excellent job of highlighting just how much of a problem governmental bureaucracy would be in dealing with Godzilla. With so many different branches of the government being in charge of different things, it is very difficult to coordinate all these efforts successfully and quickly. This means that even if we had the proper weaponry to deal with Godzilla, it could be difficult to organize and coordinate the effort in time to save the city. This would be particularly problematic when attempting to coordinate the actions of several governments. And now we return to our question, what if Godzilla was real? Well, humanity would be in for the fight of our lives. Civilian safety would be a primary concern, with efforts to evacuate citizens from the area of the attack. Capture may not be an option if it had the adaptive capabilities we saw in Shin Godzilla, which leaves us with killing the beast. While nuclear weapons would likely be effective, the collateral damage caused could be too much to bear. For this reason, a method similar to the one in the film would likely be employed. Fool it into expending its nuclear energy, then freeze or incapacitate it while it is dormant. Unfortunately, this might be easier said than done, since government bureaucracy could delay the response until it was too late. Thank you for watching Life's Biggest Questions. I hope this was interesting and informative, and maybe even inspired you to look into it further on your own. If this subject interests you, I would advise watching Shin Godzilla, as it takes an in-depth look at many of the issues I described. If you like this video, please thumbs up and subscribe to the channel down below. And while you're down there, let me know what you would do if Godzilla turned out to be real. Until next time, I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie with Life's Biggest Questions, wishing you the best of luck on your quest for answers.